Hold up. Hey. Hot topic.
All right, hot topic for tonight. How do you feel about the government sending the National Guard out to crime-ridden cities? How do you feel about the government sending the National Guard out to crime-ridden cities? Mr. Davis, I'll let you go first. I got plenty of thoughts on this.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I think it's time because we're so busy always sending our national guards to other countries to help their crime-ridden cities. Why not? You know what I mean? Now, I know some people city under siege and you doing all that, but the bottom line is, and to include our city,
Yeah.
look, man, everywhere I've lived, you know what I mean, outside of when I was a kid, when I stayed in the suburbs of Texas, from
Mm-hmm.
Northeast DC to when I moved to Maryland to west side of St. Louis, it's always been drugs, crime, shootings, killings, and I've been right in the thick of it. And
Uh-huh.
there's only one time where I've been in a situation where the National Guards was brought in and we had a curfew. So at the time, I frowned upon it. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to chain us up. You know what I mean? Because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand they were trying to protect those who were law-abiding citizens. You know what I mean? Like the elderly shouldn't be afraid. The kids shouldn't be afraid. Families trying to raise their young ones shouldn't be afraid because it's about to be a mass shootout or a drive-by. This is not a flex. This is not a bragatory thing. I've been in
Right.
3 drive-bys in my life, two of them where I saw the car coming and we had to run for our lives. So if the government is coming in to stop that type of stuff so that they can bring crime under control, I don't
Yeah.
have a problem with it, bro. And you can call me whatever you want to because I lived through it and thank God that I'm still here. You dig what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, my opinion is a little bit different in this sense that I'm from a city where the National Guard has recently been called out. Not St. Louis. I
Yeah.
live in St. Louis, but I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and it's been called out. And I would say, before that, the government, I say government in general. My people work for the government. So my
Yeah.
homies here,
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
watching, want to protect y'all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so the powers that be originally sent it to DC and also Chicago. I think Chicago bucked and like, nah,
Yeah.
we don't want you
Chicago.
here. The mayor of
Right.
Chicago said,
Right.
nah, get up out of here. And now they trying to come to Memphis. Now, in theory, for all of what Rob said, I agree, right? But I don't think this is the reason the guard is being sent out. I think it's just political positioning. That's what I think.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're sending the National Guard to help clean up and the powers that be say, no, what we really need is more funding in these particular areas. I give an example from the city I'm from, right? That's a city, the one black city in a whole state full of white cities. I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but this is how it is. And all the funding go through the capital, which is not a black city. So the one city in that whole state where the National Guard is coming to is also the least funded governmental wise. So, for example, all these things we see downtown St. Louis, these buildings and structures and some of these monuments and all that, government pays for some of that. And when I'm talking about the state government, and they like, okay, we'll release the funds. Like when it got time for us to try to keep the Rams, that wasn't all St. Louis had to come up with that. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
The state helps that. They put in to keep those certain things. Like if the Cardinals ever said, yo, we out. And they be like, oh, nah, Cardinals ain't leaving or whatever. Okay, the government will step in to help them. And when I'm saying the government, state government, right? So that's a background of what's going on in my home city is that, okay, the state government do not give them equal funding that they give a Nashville, which is a more popular, famous city, or another
City. Yeah.
Chattanooga or
Yeah.
something like that. So when they came to my city, the city I'm from, the government, the mayor was like, yo, y'all can come. We do have crime issues, but what we really need is that funds you gonna spend to send them out here, you can just get that to what we need in this city that we've been lacking in other areas. So on the other side, that's why I say, okay, if it really cleans it up, then good. Because I think crime, I feel like you can send the National Guard, you can send the military, you send everybody. Whenever there's impoverished areas and there's what I'm trying to think of them things. Project houses You know what I'm saying? Low income places.
Low income, low
There's gonna be
income.
crime, but there's crime in Ladue
Yeah.
as well. Crime will always be here. But, so I'm kind of tilted on that because on the positive side, yes, you need to clean up. For the city I'm from, I get sick and tired of hearing, oh, man, don't go out there. You're going to get robbed if you walk out there. And you went to games at the Grizzlies. Do you feel like you about to get robbed? You know what I'm saying? Went
I'm
to a
worried
game
about it,
together.
bro. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but that is the stigma of where I come from. So in that sense, if the National Guard help clean that up, that's good. But I think it'll be a victory lap for the one who sent it, more so than, okay, we got this cleaned up. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense because then it's like a kudos too. You know what I
Right. It's
mean?
like,
Like
see, I
we can
did this.
the check in the box. Yeah, we
Exactly.
check in the box.
Like they wanted to do
I
for
guess I look at
Chicago
it,
and DC, because I was in
but
DC. I never feared for my life the whole time I was in DC. Never. Now I
yeah,
ain't go to the worst spots, but I'm saying you never
yeah,
hear nobody say, "No, I ain't going to DC. I ain't gonna go see the monuments and all that." No, I mean that's history.
yeah.
There. It's rough
It's
parts
it's
everywhere.
just
Go
I
ahead,
guess
bro.
it is rough parts everywhere, and I guess I look at it from the standpoint of you know, when I lived in DC, man, like we talking about sixth grade to my junior year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in DC. Bro, we never went to the monument where the tours were. We were where we
Mm-hmm.
were, and the point that I guess I'm making is, you look at these neighborhoods. For example, Dom.
Yeah.
Dom moved back with his mom, so he back and forth between here and his mom crib, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, he's on the north side of St. Louis. And he said, Dad, it ain't that bad on the block my mom on because it's all elderly people. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
His great grandmother who passed away, she stayed on Mimica, another north side spot. If you from St. Louis, you know that area right there on the north, Mimica over there between McLaurin and all of that. It gets
Yeah.
rough over in that little spot. Not knocking nobody that's over in that area at all.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
there's certain blocks where you have the elderly, and I just feel like those folks worked hard to get their homes. Then you got these YNs that come in and they don't
Mm-hmm.
care about life. So if
Mm-hmm.
the National
Mm-hmm.
Guard is coming in to help, and this is how I look at it, see, why I don't mind the National Guard coming in
Okay.
to rebuild that property value.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The subdivision that I live in, my property value, I know how much I bought it for. My stuff then not doubled, but shoot, one time and a half already. And I only been here since from when it got built in 2018. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for those folks that's down in the city on the north side who got brick homes and the property value going down because of the crime, if the National Guard go down and Granny and Paw and all them who have their homes and their houses, their
Yeah.
property value can start going up because the National Guard, I'm all for that. You want to know why? Because I'm thinking about generational wealth. I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about community wealth. I'm thinking about giving back to the community from the standpoint from the Black community, because
Yeah.
all we see is poverty stricken and no opportunities. Why? Because the crime is through the roof. If the
Right.
National Guard is going to come in, take care of that, and property value go back up. Now, hold on. Here's the caveat to that. It
Caveat.
goes up, and those elderlies can keep their homes. Not that the
Right.
property value go up. They come
Right.
in and they ship them out.
They flip it. Right.
You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking at, because I grew up on 59th Street. 58th Street was one of the hardest spots, and I'm talking about every night we go to sleep, 58th Street, all you hear is cow, Capitol Heights, Maryland, cow. Then
Mm-hmm.
you had Lincoln Heights. This is where I grew up at. When I
Yeah.
go back home to DC, 58th Street is now lofts. So all of those people who built the elderly people, the Mrs. Williams,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? All of those people who have passed away, their kids didn't get that generational wealth. You know who got it? Some company that came in, built lofts, shipped them on
Right.
out elsewhere, and
Right.
now they're trying to rebuild the city up. That's why I don't mind the National Guard coming in. If they're gonna come back in so that we can start building generational wealth and having safe neighborhoods, and the
Yeah.
educational system gets better within the Black community, and it's not a black and white, I'm just talking reality. I don't have a problem with the National Guard coming in and wrecking shop to bring order to disorder for all these young YNs doing whatever the heck they want to do, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. On that part, I have to agree with that, man, because that's what happens a lot of times. There's areas of town that were, going through, like you said, those streets that you was on, and now it's different. It's lofts on there. I was in DC. Lofts
Yeah,
is everywhere. everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere.
High rise lost and just stacked up everywhere. And on that point, I would agree with you. Like if they come in like, okay, we're gonna rebuild this, we're gonna assist and help. You know what I'm saying? I guess my fear would be coming in a place like that. They'd be coming in like they do ICE. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
wouldn't want. It's
yeah,
like, okay, listen, they got a dude got a busted tail like now he in jail forever. It's like, come on, bro. We
yeah,
need to
yeah.
get
Like what y'all doing?
now.
Yeah, I
Here's
feel
the
that.
other side because I came from the aspect of a city I'm from. I hear about the crime here. I have never experienced it. So
Right.
my view of it is not the same as people that's from here, right? So y'all can say to you blue in the face of me, it's like I'm straight, and I've seen all areas you talking about where your
Yeah.
where your son stay. My aunt stay over there. You know what I'm saying? I just
Right,
haven't
right,
seen it
right.
in the same way, but I know it happens. You get what I'm saying? But where I'm from, I've seen it. You did. So So on the other side of it, I think it'll be good because these young kids are wilding, bro. They're wilding.
They
Shout out to
are. They are,
Light
bro.
Show TV. They just say great work. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. These young kids are wilding, man, and they're a lot wilder than our generation.
Way
They acting with no remorse for like nobody. You know what I'm saying? They just
to
doing
include
what they want to
themselves,
do.
bro.
And excluding
That's the
themselves,
scary
man.
part.
Yeah, man. People, they're taking people's lives like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So on that end, because one thing I say, like these cars are getting stolen. Like, man, shoot, man, if you better not have a Kia, Infinity, or Hyundai, they get robbed every day, all the time. And I
Yeah,
ain't talking about broken
yeah.
glass. Nah, dog, just getting the Amazon little key and getting in your whip and riding out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just bad like that. And a lot of them are teenagers, 15, 16 years old, nothing else to do. And politically, they will always say, okay, we got to get after school programs, get them into stuff. And to a degree, I think that's good. If they are kids that like sports, and you get them into sports, they ain't on the streets. Okay, but what about the ones that don't like sports? You know what I'm saying? Because every kid from the hood don't like sports. Some of them are
Right.
literally in the hood, deal with everything, but are nerds. They may want to go to Comic
Yeah.
Con. You know what I'm saying? Or
Right. Right.
they may like rock climbing or whatever. It's not just because you from the hood don't mean you only like sports. And I think
Right. Right.
so to your point, man, I know I was long-winded. I think it can
No,
be
you
help
good. You good.
if they come in with the right attitude. I think it can be help. If you come in with the ICE mentality, like we seen the way ICE has been going, where some people just look a smidge Mexican, getting shipped up out of here,
Yeah.
and got to do all type of legal work to get back over here to prove that they were innocent. Yeah, if they come in like that, I don't think that's gonna be good. But if they come in the way that you were speaking, I think it could really help.
I think the part where you was talking about like we was talking about these YNs is different. Look, when we grew up, man, it was Bloods and Crips. I had that. I like I told you on the first I would with you family on both sides. I wasn't trying to choose, right?
Right.
But that's what the war was about. The people who got killed in within that war were innocent bystanders because the one word couldn't shoot. You
Yeah.
dig what I mean? These YNs now, I almost said it. These YNs now just
Yeah.
don't care, bro. And
Mm-mm.
if the National Guard is coming in to restore order because order can't be restored, I know everybody not going to agree with my opinion. And I know when you put this up, you're going to have that one word. They ain't never lived a struggle. Man, shut up. Like, but
Please.
you know what I'm saying?
Please.
Like, if you feel like if you have been conditioned and you want your babies, look, man, come on, man. Like, I got
Yeah.
kids with kids because of how early I started. The point that I'm making is I don't want granddaughter, grandson going through the stuff that I had to go through
Right.
because some YN see him with something of what you without, you know what I mean? Like I worked hard to get to where I'm at now so that my younger sons, the three younger ones, wouldn't have to go through the stuff that the two older ones did because they did grow up in Northeast DC, Capitol
Mm-hmm.
Heights, District Heights, Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
/ West Side St. Louis. You dig what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So they had to endure that because guess what? That was my environment at the time. Well, like they say, when you know better, you do better. You should.
Yeah.
So if you think you're a sellout because you want your kids to have a better life than you, then one word, you need to reconstruct it. You dig what I'm saying? Like, why would you want your kids to go through the same trauma that you went through? That is absolutely asinine to me. And I'm very passionate about it because I'm not a baby daddy. I'm a father. And anybody who know me know I am not sitting on this podcast on a soapbox lying. That
Right.
is me. That is my life. And I make sure that them three youngins got their stuff. And if they ain't on their A game, I'm in their tail.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line. So
Mm-hmm.
with this, but to the point of this, that's why I'm feeling, because there's no fathers in those neighborhoods, bro. We don't have any positive black men. Look, shout out to Dom. He wants to go. He's going to college to become a social worker. Why? Because he wants to be able to impact young black men who don't have any hope or any black role models in their lives.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dominic on that. Excuse my dog. I'm sorry, but anyway,
I don't even hear it.
um, oh, okay, I can hear him bad and it's getting on my nerves. But the point that I'm getting to is this: if they coming in to restore order like that, I am all for it, man. So that people don't have to live in fear, walking back and forth to the store, walking back and forth, going to work, and don't. If that's what it is, but if they're on that ICE stuff where they're trying to gain control
Yeah.
and govern in a this type of government, then
Right.
no, y'all can go about y'all business.
All right, man. That was our thoughts on this. How do you feel about the government sending the National Guard out to crime-ridden cities? We gave our thoughts, man. Like, to wrap it all up, man, if it's on a political tip, I'm not really with that. But when it comes to the sense of what Rob was talking about, rebuilding and restoring order to these areas without the intent to, I'm gathering up one words everywhere, but help
Right.
restore order to some of them, because some of them don't need to be put in jail. Some of them just need to be mentored. They
That's
just need
it, bro.
somebody positive to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because if you throw them right in jail, that mentor become the gang dudes. And then they don't get no better because they can't wait to get out, and then they're going to start doing stuff for the people they was mentored by in jail. So it's like it becomes like a continuous cycle.